Everyone, and good evening. My name's Christine Love Rogers, and I'll be taking the session on how to get access to resources that you need that the library doesn't hold. I am an academic support librarian, and I'm joined today by my colleague Rowena Stewart, who is also an academic support librarian. We always say that our job is to help you to get the best out of using the library during your time here. So Rowena is going to be helping out by answering any questions that you post in the chat. I'm just going to turn on my camera briefly, just so that you can see, hello, I am a real person. And then I'm going to turn it off to save the bandwidth. Okay, so that's the preliminaries over. So what this session is about, this session is about helping you to access library resources that are beyond the university library, the University of Edinburgh Library, for your research project, your dissertation or thesis. So we're going to look at how you can request books to be purchased for the library, use interlibrary loans, find out about access to other UK libraries, and a reminder about some of the freely available digital resources which are out there as well. Okay, so before we start, a good starting point, we're going to be talking about how you can get things which are not in the library, but we do have a lot of stuff in the library. So always make sure that you check DiscoverEd, the library's online discovery tool, to see what the library has before you make inquiries elsewhere. And I've just listed here some of the online resources that we have. Excuse me. So we have over 1.4 million ebooks, but we do also have huge print collections. In the main library, we have around 800,000 printed books and nearly 7,000 print journals, for instance. So we have really significant collections at the University of Edinburgh. However, there may be occasions within the course of your research you're looking for materials and that we don't have in the library. So this is all about how to get hold of those. So this slide, Requesting Resources, is a website that we have which gathers together a number of ways in which you can ask for resources that which aren't already held within our collections, which we're going to be looking at today. Okay, so first one I'm going to look at is interlibrary loans. So for interlibrary loans, if the library doesn't subscribe to a journal which includes an article that you want, or if we don't have a book chapter that you need, you can use the interlibrary loan service to request a scanned copy from another library. There are allowances for interlibrary loans. So at the moment, postgraduate students can request up to 30 interlibrary loan scans per academic year from libraries that are external to the University of Edinburgh, and that's free of charge. Undergraduate students can request 5 free interlibrary loans. If you need to make more interlibrary loan requests than this, you can do so, but there will be a charge of £5 per request. But you get 30 free as a postgraduate. So when we say a request, that's primarily scans of journal articles or book chapters. Our standard interlibrary loan service allows for borrowing print copies, print books from other university libraries, but that has been on hold during the COVID-19 situation. We're expecting it to restart, but I'm sure you'll understand that university libraries around the world are working with restrictions because of the current situation as we are. So that may be slow, or there may be issues with that. But digital copies we can get for you. If you are registered as an online student, please remember to make this when you make your requests. So this will let library staff know that you need the items delivered electronically if possible. That it's only possible for online students to ask for electronic copies. We're not able to send books loaned from other libraries to you in the post. So to use interlibrary loans, we recommend that you use the web address that I've got on the slide there, and that will give you all the information about requesting interlibrary loans. Okay. So another way in which you can get hold of materials is to request for the book to be borrowed from the library. I'll start again. Another thing you can do if we don't have the book you need is to recommend that the library buys it. So that is from the link that I'm showing on the slide. You'll also see that link if you go into the library tab on MyEd, which is accessed via the Studies tab. And if you click on this link, you can complete an online form to fill in the details of the book that you need and submit the request. So by default, we will try to buy you an electronic version of the book that you are looking for. Under normal circumstances, we would also supply some print books, although electronic is always our default. But at the time of writing, we're currently, there are delays in the purchasing for print books because of COVID-19. So we'll always attempt to source an ebook for you where that's available. So we encourage you to requests for books. A note on the timescale for this: although we can often get ebooks quite quickly, I generally recommend that it's really something to request for when you're looking ahead for your research, for your dissertation or for your thesis, to ensure that the library has the collections available that you need. It's not necessarily going to be in time to get a book for your seminar that you need next week, for instance. So you do need to allow us a little bit of time to get the book in place. Okay. I'm going to move on to our next slide. So another way that you can get hold of library materials is to find it in another library. And a library that I recommend that you have a look at as a postgraduate student is the National Library of Scotland. And that's, if you're living in Edinburgh, it's just on your doorstep. It's not far from the university central area. So both undergraduate and postgraduate students can use the National Library of Scotland, and you're asked to join online before your first visit. Now, if you're not aware of the National Library of Scotland, it is a library which is one of the libraries that are known as copyright libraries, which means that they have a right to receive a copy of every book published within the UK. However, the National Library of Scotland is a reference library only. It's not a lending library. You have to go to the library to read the material and to consult it in the reading rooms. They have some online collections. So a quick update: due to COVID-19, the National Library of Scotland is open for pre-booked visits. But you need to arrange your library card before you visit, and the first step to doing that is to join online, and they've got all the instructions on the website, which I've given the address for there. So definitely worth a look as a postgraduate student. Okay. So if you're interested in looking for other libraries, I find a really useful site is Library Hub Discover. For anyone who's been around a while, this used to be called COPAC. It's a librarian's friend, this particular site. But what it is, it's the merged library catalogues of 168 UK and Irish academic and research specialist libraries. So it's a great way of finding out what's been published on a topic. And it's also a great way to find out materials that will be of use to your research topic that you could then put in an interlibrary loan request for. So the second URL I have is for the SCONAL Access scheme. Now, SCONAL Access is a really great scheme that under normal circumstances, it allows students to use other university libraries. So if you're studying in Edinburgh, but your home base is Birmingham, it would allow you to use Birmingham University Library when you are at home during the vacation time. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, SCONAL Access is temporarily suspended at the moment. I very much hope that it will be reinstated, but that is the URL for the site there, so you can keep you can watch out for updates there, and it's good to know that it does exist, and I hope that it will be reopened soon. Okay, so my last slide is a reminder of some freely available digital libraries which are out there. So you may have heard of the Internet Archive. So that's a non-profit library of free books and films and software. So that has over 8 million e-books which are in the public domain. There's also the Directory of Open Access Books, which provides access to nearly 30,000 academic ebooks. I've been reminded by a colleague that there's a partner organisation to the Open Access Books, which is the Directory of Open Access Journals as well. Those are all freely available without any kind of institutional access. Of course, all the ebooks and the e-journals available through via the university library. We subscribe to those. We pay for those on your behalf, and that's why you're asked to log in with your university login when you use them. These resources, you don't need to log in to use them because they're freely available. And there are more out there which you may pick up via Google searches as well. Thank you very much, Rowena, for posting those in the chat. Okay. So that's just to flag up. We've mentioned that Rowena and I are academic support librarians, and we are there to provide subject specialist library support. So if you've got a complex library question or you want help with your literature searching, we can help you. But we can also help with requests for putting in place material that the library doesn't currently have. So that if you think the library should be subscribing to a journal and we don't, if you think the library should have access to a digital collection and that we don't, you can contact your academic support librarian and we can help you with taking forward those kind of requests. So to contact your academic support librarian, there's one for every subject, and the URL there will take you to the complete A to Z list. So I am the academic support librarian for the School of Divinity. If there's anybody here from Divinity today. And Rowena is the academic support librarian for a whole bunch of subjects. So Rowena, you are health and social science, maths, chemistry, and physics. So Rowena's too busy answering questions. So oh, I've got them correct. Okay. So we are there to help you, and we do take forward requests for new subscriptions and digital resources. So you can get in touch with us about that.